Well, Unit 3, Part 1 is about food. And the reason you saw that this is only Part 1 because today we're going to focus only on Lesson A and Lesson B. The Lesson C and D would be in Unit 3, Part 2, which would be in week 4, I think. Okay, so let's start with this first. Of course, our life already involved with food in our daily lives, but let's do some warm-up exercise, okay? When you see food, do you find it hard to describe the appearance or the taste of food? Well, learning this unit will help you find the vocabularies and the expression to describe the feeling, the taste, the appearance of food. Okay, now can you imagine what these foods are? Like what are the appearances and what are they actually made of? Okay, so let's see. What foods do you see? What do you think of this one? A kind of fruit, right? And this one, a kind of Japanese food. But what like the appearance is quite interesting, okay? See here, another one, and then last one here. So from left to right, they're actually a melon, or in this case, we all know it's a watermelon, okay? Sculptured into flower pattern, okay? We've got sushi, Japanese food. This one actually is maybe a pound or two of cake, I think. And the last one is gingerbread. But what have the foods been made into? So to be made into something means this food has been made into a certain shape, a certain thing that they want the audience to see, okay? Not as a watermelon, but as a flower. Not as a sushi, but made into a dragon. This one made into an alligator. And the last one made into a house, plus a palm tree or coconut tree. Okay, so you see, what foods do you see? I see this food. This is active sentence. It's normal. It's the simple statement, right? But this one, when you learn this chapter, you also see the passive form. Okay, the passive form is this one they use the foods has been made into. Okay, so they are like here because it's present perfect. So you've got 3 chunks of verb to has been made. See, we'll learn more as we go on. Okay, now with the first one, okay, street food. With food preparation, if you you need to know at least these verbs, okay? Maybe in the future there'll be like a new method for cooking, such as what? Air fryer. An air fryer is a machine, right? But who knows if it's so popular? Like you can try the Facebook page สมาคมเราจะผอมไปด้วยกันด้วยหม้อทอดไร้น้ำมัน something like that. Who knows if it's so popular? It could be a verb like, oh, you can air fry this. Could be. Who knows what kind of verb will it be, okay? But for this one, let's stick to the basic, okay? So we've got bake, boil, fry, grill, melt, microwave, roast, and steam. If you don't believe me, let's hear the audio file.
Unit 3, Food. Lesson A, Street Food. Page 24. Exercise 1. Vocabulary. Food preparation. 1.
Melt.
See, 1 is actually melt. So when you melt something, it means at first it's a solid thing and then you turn it into a liquid thing. That's how you melt things, okay? And this one, you see, it's butter. What about number 2? What do you think? This looks familiar, right? Spaghetti. How do you cook spaghetti? Well, let's see.
2.
Boil.
See? With this one, you need to cook the spaghetti by boiling it first. See? Boil a spaghetti so that the spaghetti is cooked and you can eat it. What about number 3? Ooh, kind of familiar. It's actually a hamburger, right? How do you cook a hamburger?
3,
D. Grill.
Okay, so with this one, you see, there's heat involved, but the heat isn't on stove, right? This one, it's more directly to the surface of the food. And only this in between, there's a grill, you see? To grill something is a verb, but the word grill is also a noun. It means that in Thai it would be ตะแกรง right? So it's these metal bars that you put the food in before you use it. You cook it on top of a source of heat. In this case, we've got coals or charcoals. Okay, ปิ้ง นั่นเอง roast. Okay, next.
4,
G. Roast.
So with this one, you also get a piece of meat. This one, a whole chicken. But notice, like, where is the chicken? Well, it's in the oven. But you don't say you bake a chicken. See? When you say อบ in Thai, if it's desserts like cake, cookies, you use bake with bakery. See the association? But with a chicken, with a piece of meat, savory stuff, you cook it in the oven, you call it roast, to roast something, okay? Or if it's already been roasted, you're like, this is roasted ham, roasted chicken. See, it comes from the verb roast, okay? อบแหละ but อบ for savory food. If you want to อบ sweet food, you call it bake, okay? Next.
5,
H. Steam.
With steam, you see, there's a particular containment that you need to use. You can call it a steamer. It's okay. With a steamer, you need a source of water underneath that you can put the heat into the water. Then the steam from the water will come up and cook the food on top. See? That's the method of cooking that we call steaming. What about number 6?
6,
C. Fry.
Fry. Of course, this is my favorite food also. This is called donuts, right? But to make delicious donuts is actually, you need to fry the donuts. So if you need to cook something in oil, not just like saute it on the pan, okay, in a pan, but you need to deep fry something, well, that's what we call fry, okay, ทอด in Thai. What about number 7? See, now you've got another oven.
7,
A. Bake.
See, with the sweet thing, like I said, if you want to cook sweet thing in the oven, you use bake, okay? You bake a pie, you bake a cake, bake a cookie, and other stuffs, okay? And the last one, oh, this is familiar.
8,
F. Microwave.
Okay, so the last one, you microwave what? This is popcorns, okay? So besides going to the movies and buy some popcorns, you can also cook popcorns at home with a ready-made packet, okay, that you can put in the microwave and then it expand, right, into a bag full of popcorns. So this, I know that most of you already know these verbs, but at least you need to know how to explain these things, because in the writing test, for example, if they need to ask you, okay, what's your favorite dish, for example, you need to be able to explain how to cook that dish, and of course you need to use these verbs to explain. I'm also going to test you in the live session, okay? At least like if you like ไข่เจียว ข้าวไข่เจียว so rice with omelette, can you explain how to cook rice omelette for me? That's how you use the verb, okay? These verbs. But if you want to use การทอดไข่ การต้ม if you want to use it in a noun form, you need to add ing, okay? So bake is baking, boil, boiling, fry, frying, grilling, melting, Microwaving, even you can use that. Roasting, steaming, okay? So make sure you know which form of the verb to use, either verb or noun. You add ing, German, okay? So next. So these are the answers shown here, okay? E, B, D, G, H, C, A, F. Next, okay, these are just examples of street corner, but not just in Thailand street corner, okay? We've got street corner from other countries too, okay? So let's read the description of the popular street food and notice what ingredients are mentioned here.
Page 24. Exercise 2. Language in context. On every street corner.
Empanadas are a typical street snack in the Dominican Republic. They're dough that is filled with meat, vegetables, cheese, or a combination of all three. Then they're fried.
Bagels are a kind of bread that is sold by street vendors all over New York City. Bagels are boiled and then baked. They're often eaten with butter or cream cheese.
Satay is very popular in Indonesia. There are many types of satay, but usually meat is put on wooden sticks and then grilled. Satay is often served with peanut sauce.
Okay, as you can hear, these are a list of street food, but let's see, they ask you to notice the ingredients, right? So we first start with empanadas, okay? With empanadas, you see, where's the origin? Like, where in the world can we find empanadas? Well, you can find them in Dominican Republic, okay? The Dominican Republic. Do you know which continent it is? South America, okay? And so these are the description of, what if I don't know empanadas? How do you describe that food to someone who has never eaten or even seen empanadas before? Well, you can describe them as dough, okay? So dough is like the first stage before it becomes bread, it becomes cake or cookies, okay? So it's just like the, soft format of that flour and water mixing, okay? So dough filled with what? So it's made from flour, we know that for sure. What's the filling? Well, the filling could be meat, vegetables, cheese, or a combination of all three, see? So now we know what are the ingredients. Meat, vegetables, cheese, or even a combination of three if you are greedy, see? Okay. Then they are fried. Then there's also a method of cooking here. So imagine like curry pap in Thai. Okay. That should be like the most similar thing. Now with bagels, well, a kind of bread. So it's still just bread. But you don't bake bagel. Actually, you don't just put the dough in the oven and bake it. There's a special way to do it. You can find it in New York City, USA. Okay, bagels are boiled first. See, it's a kind of bread, so that's it. Boiled, you need to boil the dough first and then baked it. See, and they're often eaten with butter or cream cheese. You see ingredients here: butter, cream cheese. And notice also like the active sentence, okay? Subject, verb, normally, right? But with this one, you say they are eaten with. See? Not just they eat, they can't eat themselves, someone eat them. So, ถูกกิน, they are often eaten with butter or cream cheese here. And the third one, see, satay is very popular in Indonesia. Not Thailand, unfortunately, okay? But there are many types of satay. So look at the description here, okay? In our mind, like if you want to eat like chicken or pork steak in Thailand, it's very fixed, okay? You have specific sauce, you have specific way of cooking that. So here, the word steak doesn't actually mean just หมู steak or ไก่ steak in Thai, but any meat that is put on wooden sticks. So you need to put it in the sticks, put on wooden sticks and then grilled. So there can be like vegetable satay even, okay? Not just pork or beef or chicken, okay? And it is often served, also passive, see? It's served with what? Peanut sauce. So if you want to call something a satay, there needs to be wooden stick and the grilling method, and then you eat this with peanut sauce. Then you can call it steak. So here you see empanadas, bagels are all plurals, okay? So when you talk about that kind of food, that kind of things, just in general, okay? You use the plural form. Elephants are cute animals. Dogs and cats are men's best friend, for example. So you use plural form, but with this one,อาจารย์ why satay no s? Pork satays, beef satays, okay. But with this one, see, it's like when you say yum, you don't say yum at s, okay? It's satay is a method of cooking. That's why you don't use like one satay, two satay, okay? It's actually method of cooking. That's why you don't use plural form like the actual food of bagels and empanadas here, okay? So that's also something to think about, okay? And so think about yourself now with the B. What about you? Do you have similar foods where you live? Because you are all right now in different corners in Thailand, I actually wonder like what kind of street food can you get? And which would you like to try right now? Oh, I'm hungry right now to talk about food, right? Okay, we'll talk about that in class. Okay, so these are the answers. Dough, meat, vegetables, cheese, butter, and cream cheese. These are all what we call ingredients. Ingredients, something we put in the food to make that dish. Now with grammar, like I said, like I teased before, we use the passive voice to say that something has been used or been done with something. Like it's the object of that sentence is not the one who do the action. He is the one who has been done the action to. Okay, so it places the focus of. Normally you use it with a sentence on the doer of an action. Active, this is the normal sentence. But passive, the focus is on the receiver of the action. See here? Passive, receiver of the action. Use when? Well, you use it when the doer is not known. Okay? You don't know who did that action. Or it's not important. When you talk about food, you don't want to just keep saying, he do this, he does this, he does that. You want to focus on the food. So, teppanyaki is made this way. This ingredient is put into the food. You don't just keep saying, he put this ingredient in food. He cooked this way, that way. It's too long. It's too many repetition of subjects. And the focus is not on the doer, okay? So normally you see a lot of passive, okay? So they use this here, see? The differences between active and passive, notice the form, okay? You serve satay, see? These are the subjects. You've got a person, you, the cook, the vendor. These are the doers of the action. But in real life, we normally see the food as the primary focus, okay? We don't care who served the satay, but we are more focused on the food itself. See, satay, the empanadas, see? Bagels. These are the things we want to focus on. Serve, you see? Present simple, right? But when you want to put present tense into passive voice, you need to add this. Let me change the pen color into red. So you see, you need two sections here. You need verb to be and infinitive past participle form of the verb ช่อง 3 okay ไหม so satay is served, okay? This does not happen in the past. It really happens in the present, okay? But to use passive, you need verb to be plus verb 3, past participle. Like this one, Satay is what you call singular noun, right? But for plural noun, instead of is, you use are instead, right? Are. But the other part stays the same. Verb 3, past participle, nah? Okay? Are fried. From fries become are fried. Let me highlight. And the last one, the vendor boils. See? Someone boils something. But if it is boiled, you have to say bagels plural, right? Use are the same. And then boiled. And then baked ด้วยเห็นไหม So see the like I said, the format is different. Verb to be plus verb 3. So now that we know this, you should be able to complete this. Okay? Complete these sentences. So we've got number 1, 2, and 3. We've got tamales, we've got crepes, and we've got taiyaki. And these are the pictures of the food to help you understand this. So let's do it together. They want you to complete the sentences with the present passive voice. So only passive. Let's do it together. Now, number 1, tamales are a traditional Mexican food. They sell on street corners all over the country. You see, tamales can't sell themselves, okay? They need to be sold by someone. So, they, what? Passive voice? They, for sure, not is, they is, not, there aren't they is in the world, okay? They are what? Sale, they are sold. See? On street corners all over the country. They what? Made. You can think of that first. They are made by filling dough with meat or vegetables. Then the dough is singular now, okay? Singular, wrap, right? Wrap. Add edไง wrap but you need to add p, double the p first before you add ed นะ and the sound also change. Not rapid นะคะลูก it's wrapped, okay? Wrapped to t นะ then the dough is wrapped in corn husk. You might not know what are corn husk. They're here. So imagine that you buy a husk of corn. Then you need to peel out. You need to peel the outer part of the corn first, and then you just eat the corn, the corn itself. But actually, the thing that you peeled out of, you can actually wrap food with that, and it smells nice too. So that's what you call a corn husk. And then it steam. See? So it is, of course, and then steam add ed becomes it is steamed like this. That's one food done. The second one, we've got crepes. Crepe. In Thailand, crepes ใส่แต่ crepe, right? But actually it comes from French, and there's supposed to be like another symbol in the language here, and it's pronounced crepe. Okay, but we'll, for easy sake, like to easy pronunciation here, we'll call it crepe that you're used to, okay? So crepes with sc, so you need plural form. Crepes are eaten, ate, eaten, okay? Are eaten as a street snack all over France, see? And how do you make crepes? Well, use flour, eggs, and milk. You see, there are 3 things here, so you need to useนะคะand then mix add ed เนี่ย you have to pronounce it like are mixed to นะ are mixed together to make a batter. The batter what? Poured onto a hot flat pan. So someone has to pour this, right? So it needs to be in passive form. Batter, singular, use is poured onto a hot flat pan like this. See? And then it ถูกทำให้สุก it is cooked, okay? It is cooked. Crepes fill with a variety of ingredients. So now you add the fillings, okay? So crepes, plural, are filled with a variety of ingredients such as cheese, chocolate, or vegetables. So up to you. It can be savory, it can be sweet. Depends on the filling. Now the third one you see here, delicious snack, okay? This one in Japan, taiyaki. You see, taiyaki, they don't add s because you are talking about what you call a kind of food first, okay? It's a specific noun, like a name. You say kaprao, you don't have to say kaprao, right? You don't say kapraos. When sometime when you say sushi, or shabu, these kind of things, these names are specific. It comes from the language of that country's origin. So that's why you see they use italics. And you don't need to add s here. But if you say pancakes, blueberries, strawberries, these are general terms of nouns, so you can use plural. Not names, not specific names like this. So taiyaki is a popular snack that what ถูกทำให้เป็นรูปร่าง so to shape something, but in a passive form, see, singular, use is, is shaped, shape, but when you add ed you say shaped, okay, are shaped like a fish. Now the sides of a mold, งงไหม mold is something like this. You see these two, right, in a fish form. The sides of a mold, so both sides, see, not just one side, the sides of a mold are covered with batter. Are covered because เห็นไหม side s use are, covered at ed นะ batter, you see. So imagine that when you mix flour with water, if you just add little water, you can shape it, right? Like you're playing like Play-Doh or ดินน้ำมัน in Thai. But if when you can still form that into something, you call it dough, right? Like bread dough, dough that you've seen before, like bagel dough. But if you add more and more water until it becomes liquid, the liquid form, we call it batter, like pancake batter, crepe batter, see? Because it's liquidy, you call it batter. Then a filling such as sweet red bean paste, ถูก add, ต้องใช้อะไร sweet red bean paste, singular, use is จ้ะ is อะไร is added. So when you have a verb that end with t or d, right, and you add ed, add extra syllable, okay? Is not add, is add, is added to the mold, see? And next, the mold ถูกปิด the mold is closed, is closed, and the taiyaki cakes อะไร are cooked. Cake ไง taiyaki is, but if you want to use plural, you can use this taiyaki cakes เห็นไหม add หน่อย when you talk about cakes now, you can use like plural form. Taiyaki cakes are cooked until they're golden brown. See? So make sure that you're familiar with this. If you are still not sure or you feel like you need more reviewing or revision, I suggest you grab the nearest packet of food near you. Could be some snack, could be the snack or mama, even like instant noodles. You can look at the instruction in the food you have, snacks, whatever, and then there'll also be like instructions of how to eat this food, right? With mama, you need to boil them first, right? Read the instruction in English and then you get familiar. Now you will be aware of like the, what do you call it, kind of sentences and the verb used in these food industries, okay? Always passive, trust me, find that. You see lots of passive sentences. And with this one, I know we don't have pair work yet, but find some similarities among the street foods, okay? So for example, empanadas and crepes, well, you need filling in that. You don't just eat the cake or the batter, okay? Okay, and with popular street food, so we're going to do this in the live session, okay? Can you name, with these 3 popular street foods, can you describe, or it can be your own street food from your own province, okay? How is it made? When you need to describe this, answer this question, okay? How is it made? What is it served with? Where is it sold? How much does it cost? When is it usually eaten? And what do you like about it? Maybe not all of the 6 questions need to be answered, okay? But at least make the other person like picture the snacks, okay? Okay, so this is the example when you have to explain, okay? So you need to say the name of the dish first. Lamb shish kebabs. Oh, what's that? Well, read this. Lamb shish kebabs are popular in Turkey. So you need to say the origin first. See, Tokyo is very popular in Thailand. ขนมโตเกียว not the city Tokyo นะคะ See, for example. And what? How do you cook this? Like, what does it look like? Well, pieces of lamb เห็นไหม use passive voice นะคะ Pieces of lamb are put on a stick and grilled. See, this is how you explain it. Use passive voice to describe the food, how it is made. Okay?